The adventure game series that we've been doing on YouTube has used a number of sprites that you see here, and I have made each one of these. I'm not the best sprite artist by any means, but I would like to show you how I make sprites. In this video, we're going to use GIMP to make sprites for our games. Specifically, we're going to make these three sprites. We're going to make an apple, we're going to make a sword, and then we're going to make a very basic character using GIMP. A quick tip in the very beginning is just don't feel like you have to get it perfect. Sprite artists will often make multiple copies of something or multiple different versions of something. And then also too, you can always redo the art in your game and add, a new modified or updated sprite later on. I have GIMP open. I'll leave a link in the description below for how you can download GIMP. So what size should you do for your images? I think you should start with 16 by 16 or 32 by 32. Preferably, I'd go with 32 by 32. The reason why is you'll be able to create sprites quicker at a lower resolution. You won't have to put as much detail into the images. When it comes down to higher resolutions do let you use more detail, but they take longer, and they may move further away from a pixel art like style. And then also too, you'll have to generally put a little bit more detail into a higher resolution, sprite. I would recommend, maybe go with 32 by 32. Let's do that for this video. Let's come in and we'll go to File up at the top, and then we'll click New, and then we're going to change this to say 32 by 32 and hit OK. To zoom in, we'll go down to the bottom here and you can choose an option. Or on my machine, you can also hold down the Control button and then use your scroll wheel to zoom in. And now I'm going to use my middle mouse button. I can move around here, but you can also use the scroll bars over here as well. On a Mac, that's Command. If you hold down Command and then you scroll, it'll zoom in. I forgot to make this image transparent, which you can do if you go to File, New, and then you go to Advanced Options. You can choose transparency here. But since we already did it, go down here to, we're going to create a new layer. And then, just make sure that transparency is checked and hit OK. And then go ahead, we're going to delete this layer right here, the background layer. And then if you've got that, you should have this checkerboard pattern going on here with that. Okay, so the three tools that are really key to this are the pencil tool, the eraser tool, and then also the fill bucket tool. Okay, so let's draw an apple. What we're going to do is we'll go into the pencil tool right here. It may be the paintbrush tool. So you just have to right click it and then do pencil, or if you're on a Mac, control click this and then bring up pencil tool. Now, make sure that the brush that you selected is pixel. If you see a whole screen here, the pixel is right here. It's this little dot. And then just make sure that the size is 1. The reason we're using the pencil tool is the pencil tool has hard edges. So it's not going to make it smooth. It's going to make it more of a pixel, like a sprite art kind of theme to it. So I'm going to come in here and let's just freestyle this there. Oh, I'm using a different, so I made a mistake. Use Control Z to undo that. That really actually was a mistake. That wasn't planned. And then let's pick a different color. So let's come over here and we're going to do, let's do red for our apple. And then let's come in here and apple's kind of like a heart shape a little bit. So yeah, we'll do that. A little bit of a heart shape, yeah. That's probably fine. Go slow. If you're finding that you make a lot of mistakes or anything in the first beginning, that's no problem. Just release often. So kind of do a little bit of it and then release your mouse and then do a little bit more and then release your mouse and then do a little bit more. Release your mouse and then do a little bit more. And generally speaking, like in case you mess up, then it only, goes that far. To redo, you do Control Y as in yellow. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use the paint bucket tool to do that. So we'll do this. Just make sure that you have fill similar colors on. If you do fill hole selection, it's just going to fill everything. And then just make sure the threshold is low. You can play around with the threshold to see what it does. It'll sort of bleed the color past things. So yeah, there we go. Now we've got, I think that looks like an apple. And then what we're going to do, we'll come in here and we'll select, instead of red, we'll come in here and let's do green. I'm thinking maybe like a darker green. Yeah, and then we go back to the pencil tool, and then we come in here and we do that. Perfect. And there we go. So the other tool that I want you to be aware of is the eyedropper tool. And this eyedropper tool is right here, or color picker tool. This tool lets you pick a color. So we're going to use that tool. We'll pick the red color, and let's add some shading to this. So go ahead and select the red. And the key to this is you just want to move it down a little bit from where it was. See that? See, it was way up here at the top, but I just moved it down a little bit. I'm going to hit OK. And then we're going to come in here and let's just add some shading on the edges here a little bit. There we go. Yeah, perfect. And then, yeah. And you can obviously add as much shading as you want. Let's go the other direction. So let's go, because we're already all the way up at the top, let's go a little bit to the left in this case, just closer to white. And then what we're going to do is we'll just add a little bit of that shading like so. We could probably do a little bit more. So let's come in here, and that's okay. You can just take everything one step at a time. The other thing too is it's like when you do this, it's not going to come out perfect, especially at the beginning, and that's completely okay. The goal is that you're just trying to, really the goal is that you're just trying to get a feel for it and learn, like you'll develop your own style. Looking far away from this, yeah, it doesn't look as round, so I'm going to add a little bit more shading here. Just going to add a little bit more here as we kind of do this. Let's make that a little bit more round. And we'll kind of, yeah, we'll kind of fade it off a little bit there. And then here, so I'm using the color picker. I'm going to come in here and do a little bit more. Yeah, that's probably good. And then if we, yeah, I think that's all right. I think that's okay for like a basic apple. We probably need to, you know what, this part we need to get rid of. So now let's use the eraser tool. The eraser tool is right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to set hard edge here. So just make sure that for any, if you don't do this, watch what happens. It like makes it all transparent and whichever. We don't want that. So I'm going to undo, click hard edge and see what happens. It actually erases it like the pencil tool. So we'll come in here and we'll, I'm just going to kind of do that a little bit. Yeah, it looks a little bit more like an apple now. So perfect. There we go. Cool. Okay, so let's come in here and we'll save this. So for games, you want to save things generally as a PNG format. So we're going to go to File, then we're going to go to Export. And then inside of here, what we're going to do is we'll do apple.png. There are other formats. There's obviously like JPEG or, you know, there's WebP. But PNG is the one that's most compatible. PNG also supports transparency, and it makes it so that we can save a lossless compression, meaning that we're not losing any quality to it. So for game assets, and especially sprite art, you can definitely get away with using PNG because the images are going to be small anyway. Let's come in here, we'll hit export, and then we'll hit export, and we'll go from there. One day, I think we probably will be able to use WebP a lot more. Maybe it'll be more compatible, but for now, like Pygame doesn't support it and stuff. WebP actually does support a better compression ratio, but that's another thing. Perfect. Okay, so we created an apple. Let's come in here and let's do something else. Let's go to File, and we'll do New, and we'll do 32 by 32. We're going to create a sword. All right, so to the bottom right of the screen, we're going to create a new layer. And then we'll come in here, just make sure transparency is checked, and then hit OK. And then we're going to delete this layer. You can also click this guy right here on the very bottom right, and it'll also delete it as well. For a sword is a artificial thing. So we really want sort of straight lines in the design. I'm going to do let's do a steel sword. So we'll come in here, I'm going to click, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a darker color. In fact, let me just, for the sake of demonstration, let me come in. I'm just going to fill this for a second. And then I'm going to click here. Hold down the Shift key and you'll notice that a line now appears on the screen. If I click, it does that. And if I click, and it makes straight lines. So this is going to be really important for making our sword. So I'm going to come in here and we'll, let's go back to this dark color here. And we're going to, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to make a sword. Yeah, there we go. And then what we'll do is we'll go up a couple pixels, and then we're going to go, and if you ever, oh, okay, I messed up on that slightly, so no worries. I'm going to undo it. I'll just try again. Oh, I did it again. And I think that's, yeah, perfect. So if you ever make a mistake, no worries, just undo and, you know, go from there. Okay, and then what we're going to do, let's do a slightly, I don't know, let's do a different shade here. And we'll come in here, we'll do this. And we'll come in, yep, I messed up a little bit, so we'll do that. Just start making the shape. Honestly, I'm just going to make a bunch of straight lines and see kind of where we go with this. I don't really have anything planned with this, so let's see. Yeah, I messed up on that a little bit. Yeah, artificial things, you want to kind of just make sure that you get really, you know, really kind of, you know, perfect. Yeah, so now we made kind of, we're making a hilt here, I guess, with this. And then, you know what, I think what I want to do is I want to do like that. Yeah, so just keep making straight lines. And then I think I want to maybe erase some of those edges here. So we're going to use the eraser tool. I'm just going to erase. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. And then, yeah, we'll come in here. Let's do that and that. Yeah, I think that's all right. And then what we'll do is just to add some details, we can, you know, use another shade and we can, you know, sort of do, you know, more details like that. You can really add as much details as you want, right? You can, you know, add little, like, I don't know, you can make it like that, right? And then, you know, go from there. The more details, the more interesting it really is to look at. Yeah, this kind of is interesting. And then let's come in here and let's fill this whole thing. So I'm going to take this color and we'll fill that. Perfect. Now we've got a sword. I'm going to do some shading on it. So we'll go way down to, and then we'll do that. And then let's do one more. Yep, there we go. And then we're going to come in here and let's do a lighter version of this. I think that's a little too light. So let's come in here. I'm going to use the color picker again. And then we'll come in and we'll do just slightly up a little bit. And yeah, there we go. Perfect. And then, yeah, I think that looks all right for now. I think that in some respects, when you're first starting out, quantity is more important than quality because you're just getting a lot of practice and really kind of, you know, you'll come across some designs that you're thinking, oh, I really like that. So we're going to come in here, we're going to do File, and we'll hit Export, and we'll do sword.png. And yeah, we'll hit Export, and we'll go from there. So finally, let's do a character. Now, you know, characters, there's all sorts of different kinds of characters. Some people just use 32 by 32, and they make a really small character. I like going a little bit further, and I like doing 32 by 64, just because I like making characters a little taller. So let's come in here, we'll do New, I'm going to do Height, and we'll do 64, and we'll go from there. And I, once again, forgot to do Transparent. So we're going to come in here, we're going to create a new layer, hit OK, and then we're going to delete layer, and then, yeah, we'll go from there. So the character, when you're picking the color, skin tones are generally like an orangish, and then you can go a little bit closer to red to kind of see where you're going. So coming in here with like light orange, you have more of a tan color, and then all the way to more of a darker brown. So you can go either really kind of go in this range here to get like a decent skin tone. Obviously, you can go more saturated if you want to add more, and you can kind of play around with it and go closer to red if you want. Hit OK, and then let's just start. So we're going to do one thing at a time, and we're also going to do half of the character. You don't have to do it this way, but I'm just going to do like half of the head. And again, we're just going to adjust it from there, and then we'll do maybe the neck. And then from here, let's pick, I don't know, let's do like a blue shirt or something, right? So they're going to wear a blue shirt. Let's come over here and just kind of eyeball it, right? It doesn't have to be especially when you're first starting off, it doesn't have to necessarily be perfect. So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to do that. Yeah, don't feel like you can actually adjust this later. Like I probably need to add a couple more pixels on the arm here. And then we're going to come in here, we're going to do that. Yeah, I may need to make this a little bit sort of bigger. But yeah, we'll come in and we'll do that. I probably did way too far here for that. So let's use the, now, one thing that you can do as well is you can use the rectangle select tool. And you can just, if you're like, hey, I want to get rid of these, just make a selection here. I'm going to hit the delete key on my keyboard if you've got it. If you don't have it, just use the, go ahead and just use the eraser tool for now. And yeah, there are other ways to sort of erase that, but just to keep this video a lot simpler, we can do that. So then I'm going to come in here and we'll, let's do, I don't know, let's do like a darker one for the trousers here. So let's come in here, we'll do that. Okay, and then let's do this. Yeah, and we've got, there we go. I'm gonna have one pixel in the middle. For the pants, we'll do that. And again, this, you know, this isn't like perfect. There's obviously artists that are way better than me, you know, that do this kind of stuff or whatever, but I think that's okay. I think that's pretty decent. Like, I think for the sake of this video, I think this is okay. So let's come in here. I think I want to make the head a little bit bigger. And then now, the key is we did half of it. So watch, and well, let's do the arms real quick. So, or let's do the hands. So let's do a hand here. Yeah, there we go. Cool. And then what we'll do is we're going to come in here and we'll duplicate the layer. So we'll come in here, we'll hit duplicate layer, and then go into layer up at the, let's see, yeah, go to layer up at the top, and then we're going to go to transform, and we'll do flip horizontal. And there we go. Now we have sort of now there's a couple adjustments we need to do to this. So one of them is that the head is a little big. So I'm going to move this over here, and then, yeah, the head is a little big, so that's fine. I'm going to merge down the layer, and then we're going to come in here. We're just going to fix any of the sort of proportions that we need to get right. So I'm going to erase this neck here, and let's come in here. The neck really should be like 3 pixels, and then let's erase. And this is, I hope that you see, like, if you mess up on anything, just, that's okay. Like, you can just fix it and, you know, go from there, right? That's actually one of the cool things about, you know, digital art is that you can just sort of, you know, adjust it as you kind of go and make it happen. So another thing is that, I don't know, maybe the shirt needs to be adjusted a little bit. Yeah, so we've got that, and then we're going to adjust the trousers here. Yeah, so that either which way, let's come in here and let's erase this. I kind of want, so this is where you can add some details here, like you can add a little bit there. I think the arms are fine for now. Maybe we do like, I'm thinking we do a little bit, like we erase maybe a little bit over here. Just make sure that it's symmetrical. Yeah, these are a little too high. So let's come in here and just kind of, as you're going, just kind of keep seeing, okay, this looks odd, this looks odd. The feet, I kind of want to have it facing out a little bit so we can have them like go like that. It doesn't have to be perfect. It also doesn't have to necessarily be symmetrical, like, you know, as you're doing this, but yeah, but I kind of like to keep it symmetrical. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Okay, I think that looks a lot better. So now you've got a good template. What I would do is, well, first off, go ahead and right click here, and we're going to do layer to image size. That'll make that yellow line sort of match everything. Perfect. Okay, so now this is where you actually have a good template for a character. And what I would do right off the bat is I would actually just save this. So I would export it, and I would come in here, I would do like character template, right? And just use this as a template. And then all you have to do, if you're doing a different character and you're like, I want to give him a red shirt instead. So we'll come in here, we'll do this, and voila, now he has a red shirt, right? You use the paint bucket tool and you can just adjust this template to whatever you want. You can save another do export as, and then you can just save, like character 1 or something, right? As you do that. Now let's add the eyes. So for these, there's different ways that you could do this. Some people, they use like, well, that looks kind of odd. Yeah, this is, some people go like this, but I don't know if we have enough pixels to do that. Yeah, we don't. So we're gonna do, let's just do black. Yeah, there we go. You don't even need to have to necessarily put a mouth, but you could if you want, right? And, as you're kind of going, this is the thing about 32 by 64 is that you don't actually have a lot of detail to work off of. So it really kind of forces you to keep things simpler. And I think as you're beginning sprite art, then you can do that, and then you can go into more advanced techniques. But while you're getting familiar with GIMP and stuff, I think you'll just have a much better time sort of, starting off with that. Let's give this guy some hair here, and we'll come in and so there we go. We have a basic, character sprite, I guess, that you've done. You can also add some shading to as well to it all. So you can come in here and do, make it a little bit darker, and let's get under the arms a little bit, that sort of thing. And then under this way, and just everywhere that you kind of see that it's, yeah. And then we do, so now let's get a resample of this. And then we'll go a little bit lighter from where that is. And then we're going to do, we can actually use, so I'm holding down shift to do these. That's a little too much. Let's come in here and let's go, yeah, just a little bit back. Yeah, that's probably good. We'll add a little bit of, shading to, actually, no, not there. We need to add shading to here. There we go. And then, yeah, maybe the boots will come in here. We'll add some shading here. Yeah, especially the boots. And the more that you add, the more sort of reflective it makes it look and stuff. So come in here, we'll add a little bit here. And yeah, we'll just do these. The benefit of using vertical lines like this, if you do, is that you can kind of visualize it before you actually click again. So it helps to kind of do that. And then, yeah. Okay, so the last thing I want to cover with you is, let's say you want to recolor a part of the image. What we can do is we can use this little fuzzy select tool. It may be the select by color tool, but we're going to use the fuzzy select. We're going to change the mode to this. And then let's increase the threshold a little bit, select it, and just see how it selected the entire shirt. With the marching ants, it might be a little hard to see just depending on the video quality. But yeah, so it selected the entire shirt. If it doesn't do this, then I just adjust the threshold. So I'm going to show you if it's got like the 24. See how it doesn't select the entire shirt? Like it selects, the darker parts, but doesn't select the lighter parts here. So I'm just going to, mileage may vary with that. Yeah, 49 is also good too. And then what we can do is we can jump up to colors here, and let's go to colorize. And then, yeah, you can just adjust the colors this way. The hue is which color that you want to use. The saturation is how much color is in it. So there's no saturation, it's like gray, and then, all the way to that. And then the lightness does that, right? So you can adjust the colors that way, hit OK, and yeah, we'll go from there. I hope this video has been helpful for you, and I would absolutely encourage you to dive into GIMP, give this a try, start making some sprites, and let me know in the comments below if you have projects that you're working on and you'd like to share them. Thank you so much. I hope that this has been helpful, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.